channel. In today's video we're just going to be having a little postpartum catch up, talking about breastfeeding, my body, being a mum, baby, everything like that. So my last video was my labor and delivery story, so if you haven't seen that, go check that out first so you can be caught up with how I'm feeling now and how I felt about my labor and delivery. Spoiler, a bit traumatic for me and baby, but if you want to see what happened, go check that video out. But yeah, I just thought we'd have a little catch up just because there's so much I want to say about, you know, my body, about breastfeeding, about being a mum, that I feel like I haven't heard many people speak about it. If you want to know how I'm feeling about my body, about breastfeeding, did I breastfeed, did I not, about being a mum, how I'm getting on, about postpartum depression and all that, just keep watching. Okay, so we're going to start with my body first. I have notes written down just so I don't forget anything. Since I gave birth, my body is not how I expected it to be after birth. Considering I got a C-section, I'm doing pretty well with my body in terms of how it looks. Everybody, whether you've had a C-section, natural delivery, is going to go back to how it was differently, and it's going to take more time for some people, less time for some people. Every type of body postpartum, honestly, it is more than okay. Yeah, my body has definitely changed. I took photos, I think up until maybe 5-6 weeks post-birth, of how my body was changing. Literally every single Tuesday I'd wake up, I'd take a picture. So I'm going to pop these pictures in here of my body straight after birth, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, however many weeks on. I've kind of hit a wall with how my body looks. It kind of literally looks the same. Basically, let me show you. So my body up here is flat until basically where my body, where my like uterus womb area is. I don't know if I can show you without getting it my whole hoo-ha out, but I still have an overhang. As you can see, stretch marks, we'll get onto that, but I have a overhang of where the stitches and the incision was made. If you don't know anything about C-sections, sometimes you can be sewn really tight where your incisions were made. That's what causes the overhang. It's because it's too tight, like your muscle tissues are really tight. You can fix your overhang by doing like massages, like incision massages, which I've been doing to try and lessen it. It's just the way you are restitched, and also it depends on if you have more weight than you did before birth, or even if you had weight on you before you got pregnant. So as you can see, I still have a bit of a belly. That is okay. I'm 10 weeks postpartum today actually. So yeah, it's a bit weird seeing your body change. Before I got pregnant, I was obviously very slim. I'll pop up pictures. Very slim. And then I went on a bulk before I got pregnant, so I had a little bit of fat on me anyways that I was about to go into a cut for, and then obviously got pregnant, so I had a bit of excess weight on me. And then when I stopped going to work, so when I got signed off from work, so basically when I stopped moving, because I didn't go to the gym the whole time I was pregnant, I had really bad morning sickness and then just had no motivation to go back. So not only from having weight on me from the bulk, also not going to the gym, and also not being in work, because my job is I'm standing all day, I very rapidly put on a good bit of weight towards the end of my pregnancy. And you probably saw it in my videos, my face, my arms, like I basically blew up like a balloon, which was bound to happen, but I just thought I would say the exact same. Now post giving birth, I do have a bit of weight to shed, and it's gonna take time, but I'm okay with it. The swelling of pregnancy has definitely gone, and now I'm just left with the fat that I got during pregnancy, which is okay. I'm ready to shred it. That's where I'm kind of at. I've got a bit of an overhang, I've still got a bit of a belly. I'm moving on to like working out and stuff like that. I am back in the gym. I got the all clear for exercise. I'm doing what you shouldn't do with a C-section, and I'm back straight into lifting weights, back straight into lifting heavy. Honestly, I do not recommend it. I'm back lifting heavy. I'm back in the gym 4 times a week. So with that, being back in the gym 4 times a week, I'm also in a calorie deficit. In terms of that, that's what I'm doing to try and lose a little bit of weight. I am still very conscious of my stomach. I tend to hide it with, when I'm at home I don't really give a shit. Like Joseph's literally see me in my worst state at this point. But in terms of like when I'm going out and stuff like that, I try and wear oversized t-shirts to cover my belly, or just really flowy things that no one gets to see. So I'm not confident yet. I actually start back with a coach May 1st, which is very soon, which I'm very excited about. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to lose weight. There's other changes too. I was determined I wasn't going to get any stretch marks. I had none on me, like none on me. And then, would you believe, my last week of pregnancy, I was on TikTok and a video came up. You can get stretch marks once you've given birth. I did not know this. You basically don't get your stretch marks while you've given birth. They were already there, just they weren't coming up in colour while you were stretched. It's only when you go back down that they come out. So, as you probably saw, I have stretch marks all over my legs, my thighs, my calves. I've got stretch marks here from, like I said, I put on weight quite rapidly towards the end of my pregnancy. So let me show you. I'm going to show you because I want people to understand how normal it is. My problem with stretch marks is the colour. They're so fresh that they're literally purple. Let me show you. As I said, they're all, I'm literally putting my ass on show. They're all over the side of me there, all over the side of me here. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. They're all along my thighs, like all along my thighs. They started off just being at the very top of my thighs, and since I'd say the past 2 weeks they've gone all the way down to my thighs, especially this leg to here, and then I have them on my calves. Who the fuck knew you could get stretch marks on your calves? And again, they're bright purple. Like I said, I've been so insecure about them, and I actually have been thinking about getting treatment for them. So you can get this thing where it's like microneedling on them, which basically you get 3 sessions and they basically pull fresher skin onto the surface, and what it does then is like it basically colours them back to your skin colour. So yeah, that's another part of my body that I now have to accept, and I am starting to. It's just when I'm in the gym and I'm wearing shorts that I'm very conscious of them. And then the other thing is my hips have gotten wider. I went into the attic maybe like 3-4 weeks ago to get all my old clothes that was pre-pregnancy. Let me tell you, I am never fitting in those again. They're never gonna go back to my body. So Nicole has most of them. I cannot even explain. My jeans don't go over my thighs. Obviously, I totally forgot, when you get pregnant your hips expand, because obviously baby goes down, your hips expand, your muscles and your bones move out of the way. So my hips have gotten wider, so nothing fits me. So yeah, I have to rebuy a whole entire new wardrobe. And then the last thing with my body is my boobs. So we'll get onto the next part with like breastfeeding and stuff, but I breastfed, I pumped, and when your breasts are filled with milk and they're being zapped of milk and then filled with milk and zapped of milk, your boobs weigh down quite a bit. So they're not as perky as they used to be, and now they're like quite wide. And also because my pump was the wrong size for my boobs, it's created wrinkles and stretch marks, but only on one boob. So yeah, that's another thing I'm having to deal with, which again, I'm okay with it. I'm not pissed off. Some days genuinely I love it. I'm looking at my body be like, you go girl, you had a baby and you look like this however many weeks after birth. And other days I'm like, I cannot look in the mirror, like I don't want to go outside the house. I hate everything I'm wearing, I look dreadful and everything, and it's just the way it's gonna go. And I'm kind of just treating this as like a little process we're going through. So yeah, in terms of my body, that's where we're at. Okay, so as we're talking about boobs and my body, we'll move on to breastfeeding. So with breastfeeding, I tried breastfeeding in the hospital. So Oliver would latch onto me and he'd suckle for maybe like 3-4 seconds, but then he'd stop. So we think he was just a really hungry baby, and because he wasn't getting it out fast enough, he was getting annoyed. He was born at 11:30. By 12:30 he wasn't suckling, so he was starving. They ended up giving him formula for that night because I was exhausted, I needed sleep. Then over the next couple of days when we've been in hospital, I had gotten every single midwife to help me breastfeed him. You lose all your dignity in a hospital after a birth. Like, you literally don't give a fuck? Who sees your boobs? Who handles you? Like, honest to God, I was whipping my boobs out. I didn't care who saw me. I was like, I want to breastfeed my baby. So I literally had every midwife in there, no matter who's on shift, handling me, trying to get me to breastfeed, and it just wasn't working. So I ended up hand expressing colostrum for the days that I was in there into syringes to give to baby, and as well also giving him formula. But they say you should never give a baby a bottle before 6 weeks of exclusive breastfeeding if you want to breastfeed, because they will get so used to the bottle that they won't take your breast. And that's what happened to me. My milk came in the day I left, and I tried latching him on and he wouldn't. Now bear in mind, I also have like flat nipples. I don't know how to explain it, it's kind of a weird thing. So like my nipples, like they're completely flat against my boob, if that makes sense. Like they don't stick out like a nipple. So he was also struggling to like get that to like come out. I don't, if you've ever breastfed or you know about breastfeeding, you know what I'm on about. Like my nipple wasn't coming out for him to like grab onto to suck. So he was struggling with that. So I decided to pump, as in pump my milk and give that milk to him. And anyone who does that for longer than the amount of time I did it for 6 weeks, hats off to you, because I have never been so drained, so in so much pain. It's so time consuming and life consuming that all you're thinking about is breastfeeding and pumping. Obviously the older he got, the more milk he wanted, the more I'd have to pump for longer. So I was constantly, that pump never left my boobs. And then also when I was waiting for the night feeds, I'd also have to pump while on the night feeds. I think my mental health was at the worst then. But also as well, I knew not a lot about breastfeeding before I gave birth. There is very, very, very limited information that you get given about breastfeeding, especially in Ireland. I don't know about other countries, but we literally got barely told anything about breastfeeding. You were told it's the best, but you weren't told what to do if this happens, if this happens, if this happens, if you can't do this, if this isn't working. Like, it was very, 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 very disheartening. And now after the fact, I know exactly what I should have been doing to get my breast milk in quicker, to get my breast milk up, to get him to latch, to get him to suckle. You're not given enough information, and that is also something that the public health nurse said. She said there is not enough information for women to breastfeed. If your milk supply is low, you're not told what to do. If your baby's not latching, you're not told what to do. Like, we had a lactation specialist come into me, and even then, to be honest, wasn't that great, because she had so many people to go to. So I know for next time, with the next baby, when we do decide to have a baby, what to do. I know how to do it. I also will happily advise any of my friends or family who are having babies and want to breastfeed on what my advice would be to do, because I honestly don't think you get enough advice from hospitals or support groups. I genuinely think TikTok was what helped me. So if any of my friends or family are having babies and want to breastfeed, genuinely TikTok is your best bet, because I genuinely don't think I would have found out any more information if it wasn't for TikTok. I think that's everything on breastfeeding. Oh, another thing, if you are pumping, I recommend looking into getting the right flange size for your pump, because you can be preventing your milk from getting enough milk out, from getting your supply up. You can honestly be preventing a lot by not having the right flange size. If you guys want me to do a full video on breastfeeding, please let me know. I'm obviously not a lactation specialist or breastfeeding specialist. There's so much information that I can give out about this that I wish I knew before I had him, because it kind of ruined my breastfeeding journey. So if you want a video on that, let me know and I can definitely do that. We'll move on to the next topic now. Okay, so the next part that I kind of want to go through is just being a mum. So how has life been being a mum? Genuinely, my life has gone a full 180. My life is nowhere near the same as what it was before I had him, but at the same time I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, myself and Joseph were talking about this on a walk home one of the days, and we were saying, as much as we will never would want to get rid of our lives now. Like, we are obsessed with being parents, we are obsessed with like him. We never ever want our lives to change now. We do wish, or not wish is the wrong word, we do look back at our old life and kind of like mourn the fact that we don't have as much freedom as we used to. You can't just book a holiday whenever. Holidays now seem so far-fetched. And I think even if you were to have planned your baby, I still think you'd be feeling these things. Like, I wish more than anything that me and Joseph just had longer time together. I wish we had like 10 years together before we had a baby and it was just us and we could travel to all these places that we want to. And I know we still can, but it's just not the same. I love my life now. I love being a mum. It genuinely is the best thing in the entire world. But I miss aspects of my life with just Joseph. I have to say as well, I think we got quite lucky with Oliver. I genuinely do. I think we got very lucky with Oliver. Oliver is a very, very easy baby. From about 5 weeks, he started sleeping 8 hours through the entire night and doesn't wake for a feed at all. So I think it's down to our routine. So at night, 8:30 on the dot, up for a bath. So he has a warm bath for about 10-15 minutes. Then he comes out into the room. The room is dimly lit. We have like a little lamp beside the bed. That's turned on. We dry him, put his nappy on, put warm clothes on him. So we put his like sleep suit and bodysuit on the radiator, so that's warm. His bottle, it's the only time he gets a warm bottle and it's not even warm, it's actually room temperature. We put it in warm water in our ensuite sink, so we leave it sitting there for as long as he has a bath and he gets that. And then we, just as he's getting sleepy, we put him into a swaddle. Swaddles are controversial. We love it. It's worked for him. And while he is still half awake, we put him into his cot and then he passes out by himself. Say from 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30, he'll sleep till about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So yeah, we're getting 8 hours with him. So he is a very, very, very easy baby. However, the first like 2 to 4 weeks when he was waking up every 2 hours, I literally was like, dear God, when is this gonna end? I was so sleep deprived. I was running off adrenaline most of the time. Like, I can't even explain how exhausting it is. Like, you just feel like you want to cry every time you hear them waking up. You just feel like you want to cry. The first 2 to 4 weeks we really struggled, and then after that it's been a lot easier. Like, I've gotten more sleep, I feel a lot better. The only thing is, myself and Joseph have very different sleep schedules now. Because I am doing the night feeds, I feel I'm like, I need to go to bed now. So as soon as Oliver goes down, I'll spend a little bit of time downstairs with Joseph, and then usually I go to bed without him. And it's really sad because we used to go to bed together, but we just can't, with me being up early to do his night feed. And he might wake up earlier, he might wake up later, but I can't risk going to bed later in the hopes he wakes up later. Do you know what I mean? During the week when I literally have Oliver on my own, without Joseph being there, I get quite overwhelmed. I feel like I'm not myself during the week, so I feel like literally my only identity is being a mom. So during the week when I don't have Joseph, I literally am so overwhelmed, I'm so tired, and by the time he gets home, I feel like it's almost like all my energy is zapped out, that like I don't even have energy to focus on him, which is so sad because he's my partner. I should be, you know, also focusing on him. But when you have a baby, it's just so difficult. But then I also get the mom guilt of, I have the baby during the day, so when Joseph comes home, all I want is to just hand him over to Joseph, just to get 5 minutes to myself. But then I feel bad because Joseph's had a full day of work, and therefore because Joseph's had a full day of work, he's coming home, and then it's almost like a second job looking after the baby, because I know how tiring it feels looking after the baby. So when he's already had a tiring day of work, and then him coming home to have another basically second job of looking after the baby, I feel guilty then. So then I end up taking the baby back anyways, and it's just like, it's this vicious cycle of I just feel guilty no matter what. The mom guilt is very, very, very real, and I think it's very hard to understand in your head why you feel like that, because you're just like, I deserve time off as well. I know I'm off work, and my time off work, it's my job to look after him, but it's also like, you also need time for yourself, or else you're gonna go batshit crazy. So it's catch 22 really. And then the other thing that I just want to talk about is, say the past couple of weeks I have gotten this fear of someone's gonna hurt him, and it's a very strange and very scary feeling to feel like everything in your life someone's gonna hurt your baby. If I'm in the house by myself, I'm worried someone's gonna break in and like kidnap him or hurt me and leave him, or hurt me and take him, or hurt him and make me watch. Or if we're getting on the train, I'm so worried that someone's gonna push the pram onto the tracks, or I'm worried that when we go onto the train he's gonna slip through the gap between the train and the train track. Or I'm worried if I'm in the car that someone's gonna crash into us, that the car's gonna blow up if we're in a petrol station. I'm worried that there was someone on the train one of the days that was just very dodgy. But again, my instinct was he's gonna take him or he's gonna hurt him. And it's gotten to the point where like everything I do, I'm terrified. Like even Joseph was giving him a bath the other day, and literally Joseph was just holding him in the bath, and I was like, what are you doing? He was like, what do you mean? I was like, why is your hand there? He was like, I'm just holding him. And I was like, I'm like convinced that everyone's gonna hurt him. And it's a terrifying feeling, because they say usually it's you're gonna hurt the baby, like you're worried that you're gonna hurt the baby or you have hurt your baby, and it's never anything to do with me, it's always to do with other people. I'm like, is someone gonna hurt him? But other than that, being a mum is great. No, genuinely, it is the best thing that has ever happened to me. It's the best thing that I could have ever asked for. Seeing him smile every time like I pick him out of his cot in the mornings, like he's just such a happy baby. Like seeing him smile, seeing him just being obsessed with Joseph, seeing him like just loving on us, seeing just like the cuddles that we get, like it's honestly the best thing ever. There are some parts that are hard, and I won't sugarcoat that, especially when I don't have Joseph with me all the time. It's very difficult. I have a newfound love for Joseph. Your relationship definitely gets stronger after having a baby. Honestly, since having Oliver, our relationship has changed so much, before the better, so we're both happy. That is the end of my postpartum catch up. I kind of wanted to just catch you up with baby, with body, with breastfeeding, with being a mum, with all the bees, just so you can kind of get your head around where I'm at the moment. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like me to make any specific videos on baby, I was thinking about doing what I actually use in my hospital bag and what I think people actually need to bring. I can do a breastfeeding one, I can do what happens in the first week after giving birth, and how you get on in the hospital, and how you get on at home. Let me know. But other than that, there's not really going to be much baby videos happening. I will see you guys in my next video. I will see you on Sunday for a makeup haul that I'm actually about to film, so look out for that. But yeah, other than that, give this video a big thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.